Try it again. Today's podcast is brought to you by Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott, a podcast that goes behind the scenes with today's most innovative tech leaders. Check out the links in the description of said podcast. So, Paul,
Are they up there or is it down there? Where's it?
I've been betrayed by something by something I love very much.
Oh, done by something else.
Oh.
What is?
So
What would that be?
I slept incorrectly, which is terrible. And
Some mistakes. Yeah.
oh my God, dude, like my neck and like upper shoulder area, there's like The Rock, the movie, there's The Rock, the movie character that we know, and then there's The Rock that is in my neck. That is like, oh my God, like it's going to be a day. Like I've been betrayed by sleep.
At least they don't have like a 10-hour drive ahead of you or anything. So,
Yeah.
or whatever. How long is the drive for you?
I think it's going to be like 10 and a half.
Yeah.
Like it's a
long
haul.
drive. Yeah.
Like it's less miles to where we like to go to Hilton Head too, but where we like to go, which is Destin, Florida. But it takes the same amount of time because there's nothing straight to it.
Yeah. Hilton Head is South Carolina?
Yeah, it's like at the very bottom of South Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, that's a hike.
Yeah, and there's no like direct route.
There's no I-95 from your direction.
Yes.
You have to kind of cut over. Yeah.
Up over mountains and bob and weave. And speaking of bobbing and weaving, these things bob and weave their way on the back of a FedEx truck to my house.
So do you think the R in that ear cup is big enough that you can see it, or?
Conveniently, there's also an L in case you...
Yeah. In case you're not sure what the other side might be.
In case you now, the problem is if you have two
good.
R's, you're screwed.
Yeah.
But
2 R's. Huh. It's an MC Escher headset, I see.
So I'll have a write-up on the site, like first impressions, and actually that might be the only impressions.
Sure.
So here's the thing. For $99, good value. Like it's a good value, but not a good audio headset.
Oh, that's disappointing. Why do you say that?
Yeah. And so, like, I love the feature. Like, I love that you can twist this, turn the volume up or down. I love that you can twist this, and it adjusts either chat or game volume. I like that there's a mic on the boom here because it lets it easily know if it's muted or not. It syncs up. Everything about this on paper.
No, it sounds great. I can't imagine anything being wrong with it.
The problem is that it just doesn't sound good.
It's crazy.
So now you need to put it in comparison. Like
I'm using look at these things. This is probably $30 worth of headset, right?
Yeah.
It's a piece of garbage. So I use this now another one of these with the Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's better than speakers.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see.
I assume that's better than this, right? You must have like the total immersion effect of the.
Now, I'd honestly be curious to see if you think that these sound good, because they could be. Now, see, here's the problem, is that the current headset that I use, which are like the Rig 800 LX, I don't even know if they sell them anymore. I saw them online for like $150, but they were.
What's what's the manufacturer name?
Plantronics.
Oh, Plantronics. Okay. Yep.
So these, I don't know if they've still made or not or whatever, but these were like a higher end headset, like $200, I think, new at the time. And then the other problem is that when my wife is home working, I'm using the Sony XM3s, which are an expensive headset, like all day long, like multiple hours. So to go from those higher end headsets to something like this, like it's.
I just don't know if I want to spend $100 on this because I have a humongous head for one thing. So
yeah, well, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, they're pretty.
But I don't know. Stretch that all the way out again. Yeah, maybe. But and I don't really like that that suction effect, and then my ears sweat and stuff. Like back in the early days of Bose noise canceling headsets, I used to I had the big cans first, and you had the ones that kind of slid sideways with the smaller ear pads, whatever you call those things, and. Both of them I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, it was better than nothing. I mean, it's awesome having it on a plane, but I just didn't like the effect it had on my ear.
Yeah.
And now I have those in-ear things, but
Yeah, so maybe you wouldn't like them. I mean,
I don't know.
the thing is for $99, they're good. Like you get
Right.
a lot, but the problem is that you're going to be spending a lot of time with the equal, like the bass. Remember like those Skull Candy headsets they used to have like back in the day, and all they really were cheap headphones, but they just jacked up the bass profile.
Oh, those are called Beats now.
Oh, they're
yeah,
called
go
Beats.
on. I'm sorry.
That's what these kind of feel like. Like I spent
Right.
a lot of time in the equalizer just trying to get rid of like that low end, but then the problem is when you get rid of the low end, the muddy, like it's muddy. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it's not like clear sounding audio. But again, it's $99, so it's pick your, like, do you want all, like this has all the features. It has every feature that you would want. But the problem is you have to choose, do you want all the features or do you want good sounding audio? And the microphone, there's some issues too with it. People just hearing you chat, like the sensitivity of it. I know you can adjust it, but
Sure.
notable issues across the internet about that. So,
All right. Well, I mean, be sure to write that up.
no, I am, because I'm probably sending it back. I mean, like that's
oh well, yeah.
like some people are going to get these and love them, and I totally
Yeah.
get it. Like if you're coming from probably like a headset like you use $30, this is probably going to be great in
Or
all
just maybe
regards.
no headset. I bet a lot of Xbox guys probably just play.
Yeah. If you're
through
using
the
TV
you know?
speakers,
Yeah.
light years ahead, you will love these. Like they're great for that. But if you're coming from a higher end headset and thinking, man, like the reason why I was really interested in these was that they're USB-C. My other ones are USB micro or whatever, and I'm trying desperately to get rid of that. And I was like, man, these are going to be it. But you can't. I'm not giving up sound quality for USB-C. So
Yeah, that's too bad.
yeah, and it just leaves the door open for the Elite Xbox headset.
The
that may
Elite,
arrive.
yes, right. Oh man. Oh well. Okay.
So
Well, okay. It's not so for $99. It seems like it's a
like
decent
it's for the price, it's a good headset.
Okay.
But for somebody who's looking for good sounding audio, it's not a
Yeah.
good headset.
I had high expectations for these, for some reason.
Well, it's just because on paper they look almost perfect.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
right? Like the paper,
They
like
thought of everything.
they did. Like the specs. If I could rip out the drivers out of this thing and reasonably replace them with something better, I would do it because they're comfortable. That like all the features are there, except for the one thing that I'm really, really particular about, which is the audio quality. So,
Okay.
anyways, here we are. Sony also announced their
Random
VR.
aside, because I just thought of this. Sorry.
Yep.
I'm back on my normal computer today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the jittery blah 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 or whatever is gone. After our call, we had to do the thing where I was on the phone out in the other room. When I walked back to my computer and woke it up, it's like you need to restart your computer right now. It was like an HP message, and I was like, okay. And it literally did 2 offline firmware updates.
Ooh.
And I wonder if that wasn't. It took like 15 minutes too. I was like, okay, and I shut everything down. I was like, maybe this is related. But rather than experiment every day, I thought they would just go back to the old setup. So.
Sony also announced their VR controllers today. They look like the old Sony Ericsson logo with. That's what it looks like.
So what does Sony announce VR controllers for?
Remember, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, they said, "Hey, we're bringing new VR to the PlayStation 5 sometime next year." Well, they announced the controllers that will be.
Oh, so they just showed off the thing. That's
Yeah.
be...
Like, yep.
I see. Okay, so they're not available. But
No, they're not. But they look like the Sony Ericsson logo and with your hands in them.
Okay.
People are going to be like, that makes no sense. Then you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, oh yeah, like,
look at that.
Look at that. Kind of does look like that.
Okay.
So what else happened yesterday? Microsoft. Let's see. EA Play finally coming to Xbox. Game Pass on the PC.
That's fairly big news.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what the biggest news from yesterday is, though? They finally released like a dev build for the Windows Insider program that has new features in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this it's like 5 or 6, right? And and most of it's not like new features. It's like virtual desktop improvements around organization and customization. It's good. Auto HDR for PC. Notepad is going to be updated in the store, and it will be.
Has anybody checked on Mary Jo?
Yeah, she didn't handle this very well. Well, because she believes this means they can add new features frequently, and I get
to Notepad though. Like
I know.
You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna shove their little editor thing in there, and be like, look, it's better now.
Oh God, yeah, they'll turn it into like a Visual Studio Code clone. Anyway, Windows Terminal and Power Automate are going to be built into Windows 10 and serviced through the store. But here's the big one to me, and I mentioned this yesterday in Windows Weekly, but I was just this is kind of interesting. In fact, maybe I should read their description of it, because we have sort of assumed that there's like a modern version of File Explorer coming, right? Like a new version, like a new app. And we see a really garbagey kind of Chrome OS type File Explorer app. Maybe, I don't remember the name of it, Files or something, built into Windows 10X. But in this build, they have retrofitted what they call a new level of padding in a compact mode that's designed to look, or well, let me just read what it says. Designed for better consistency with modern XAML experiences. In other words, they want this thing to look normal next to modern apps. This suggests to me that maybe they're going to just go forward with this app, Like, why would they do this now? This would be the version of Windows 10 where they would replace this thing. I mean, I know Dev is not tied to a version of Windows, but why would they, presumably this is for 21H2, right? Yeah. And why, I mean, if you're going to replace the File Explorer, just leave it alone, right? I mean, why would you touch it?
Yeah, like realistically, what I thought they would do is there'd just be a new File Explorer app, and it'd be like the control panel situation where File Explorer never goes away for people like us or whoever who have been using that format for decades. And if you want to experiment with the new stuff, go tinker around, but it's always kind of there as a fallback.
Now I wonder, and this is, we had this discussion on Windows Weekly, but you could kind of compare this to the Windows 3X or 9X and Windows NT days in the 1990s, when they had these two different things that were similar, but kind of evolving forward on their own paths. And, maybe Windows 10X is literally that kind of simplified mobile OS. And Windows 10 retains its, complexity and power, I guess.
That is true. Oh, no, I missed it, because you know what else is true, Paul? Is that there's a podcast by Kevin Scott. And if you don't recognize that name, that's okay. He is the chief technology over at Microsoft, and he's got a pretty awesome podcast called Behind the Tech, which I'm actually going to force my family to listen to one of the episodes on the drive to Hilton Head over the weekend. Good luck to them. And you can find it on all major platforms, where he talks behind the tech with today's most innovative leaders, people like Mae Jemison. That's the episode we're going to be listening to, because she was the first African-American woman in space. Then you've got Reid Hoffman, Sam Altman, and a bunch of others. And I will be curious to see how my family handles listening to this in the car.
Well, what I'll be curious to see is whether both of them or only one of them falls asleep during it.
No. Well, so my daughter is like huge into space stuff, mostly because every time there's a rocket launch, I like force her to sit down and watch it. Like, you gotta watch this. Like, this is big stuff.
It's always good to do that to your kids.
Yeah. And so we've been on a big space binge. She's done the VR stuff looking lately, and so now we've got the first African American astronaut on a podcast, and so we're going to be listening to that.
I'm going to read you this, if I can find this in my text message stream. We communicate with our kids fairly regularly, as you might imagine. And anyway, we're talking about whatever the other day, and my daughter goes, my roommate is convinced you're famous because you're on a podcast. I'm like, yeah, I'm huge with the middle-aged white guy set. Anyway, then my wife chimes in with, you guys, I did Dad's podcast with Brad's wife, and it was the most popular one they ever did. And then my kids are like freaking out, and now they're like, which one is it? And we sent them a link, and Kelly's like, I'm going to watch this with our roommate tonight. I'm like, Kelly, I have recorded over 2,000 podcasts over 15 years, and now you're going to watch one of these things?
Now you take interest in it?
Yeah, this is her reply. Yes. It's like, seriously.
All I got to say is you deserve everything you get in life.
Yeah, when it comes to your kids, you're going to get it. That's
because
for sure.
You are in total
Every little
control
video you took of your daughter is going to come back to haunt you when you're sitting in a hospital bed someday, and she's like...
Remember when I got hit in the face with the beach ball and you laughed?
You immortalized it on Twitter? Well...
No more morphine for you. No, hopefully my kid will choose a good home. Or we'll have brain transplants by then, and we'll just never go away.
That was the joke my wife made about the vaccination. She said, my daughter's getting hers today, actually.
Really?
Yeah, North Carolina's doing colleges now. So so it finally paid off going to North Carolina. What was the thing I was going to tell you? She says, Kelly asked if it hurt. And I said, no. And then my wife goes, yeah, but she goes, it hurts. But now our 5G coverage is awesome. God. Like, oh, boy.
Oh, man. Well, it's better than buying more Xbox Live Game Pass, right? What was the other running joke? Is I got my shot and I dropped my PlayStation. It's Microsoft's way to win the console wars or something crazy like that. So, anyways, I don't know. So, in Ohio, they're making it after March 29th. Then I'm officially like in the pool of eligible candidates. Then you
have to kind of jockey for position. But the nice thing is, as we go forward, they're going to open, more and more vaccinations are becoming available. Yep. So it's like almost exponential. I can tell you a lot of people in Massachusetts are really upset with me because they have they're on a stricter schedule or whatever. So like, here it's like 50 and over. And in Massachusetts, I think it's still 65 and older.
Oh.
These people, my friends are like, how the hell did you get this? And it's like, I don't live in your hellhole of a state anymore.
Well, it was probably a little rude when you sent them a picture from a bar and you're just drinking.
Well, that was the other thing. So on April 4th, they're opening bars here.
Really? I don't know what they're doing.
They're still going to have supposedly a 6-foot thing. I don't know how this is going to work exactly, but
yeah,
we went to our favorite place last night and I was like, hey, you guys going to open the bar on April 4th? And she's like, yeah, why not? I'm like, I don't know. COVID? Why not? What do you mean, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
I'm just waiting. Our favorite local, I've had to mention this, favorite local burger joint's been shut down since December. They just said, screw it. We're not.
December.
Yeah.
You guys have one of those holiday temporary lockdown things, and then they just never came back from it, or what was
that? No, I don't think so. The owner's really just really eccentric, but kind of cool guy. I think he served at the French Legion Foreign Army at one. He's an older individual. Just
what?
Yeah, really interesting individual. And he's like, you know what? I'm just not risking it, and just shut his place down. And he's like, we'll open it, I think March 1st. Or April 1st, I think is the latest. So really, really good food though. So
hope it does come back. That's
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's always an issue too.
Rattle and Hum obviously had 2 locations in Manhattan. The one we went to closed 2 years ago or something. I don't remember, but they had the other location over sort of south of Times Square, and that one closed.
Yeah,
it's because rent's so high. They're next to a hotel. No one's going there. There's no traffic, right? So supposedly, when everything's okay, and in New York that might be same time frame, I guess, they could reopen. But I think we're all like, I bet they don't come back.
Yeah, it's a timing thing, right? It's you want to there's probably a divergence of being able to get a good deal on a place, be able to pay rent, but not wanting to be too early when nobody's coming back.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. I can only imagine what the rents in Manhattan are like.
Oh, that whole industry probably is completely collapsed. We would dump thousands of dollars into Rattle and Hum on a quarterly basis. Can't imagine what they're doing.
Listen, there'll always be Sbarros. You have nothing to worry about.
Anyway, so that wraps it up for today, my friends. And so tomorrow will be the last podcast.
Where you go? Oh, right, because you're doing it. Okay, I was gonna say because I'm going to be gone tomorrow after the podcast, and then Monday as well. We're taking kind of a long weekend thing.
As I was about to say, tomorrow's podcast will be the last podcast of the week because I will be gone next week. Doesn't matter what Paul's doing. We will be gone. But while we're gone, if you need something to fill the void in your life, check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. It's a good podcast. You can find links in the description, and we'll catch all of you back here tomorrow.